Welcome to
Welcome to Tears.
Tears Over Beers.
Tears of Beers. We're calling this.
Yeah, it's another great classic gaming tier list from the Brothers 5 Gaming.
I've been drinking a lot of beers, so this is time for doing a tier.
Multiple beers over tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get through this, and we're let's just get into it. I don't know what the fuck this first one is.
Let's do it. The first one's a 3DO.
Oh, 3DO.
Haven't played.
Haven't played it. All right.
I haven't played anything about it. I hear it's a failure. It maybe should be an F for fail. But I think technologically capable, but I haven't played it.
Okay. Atari 2600.
All right. Now, I guess we should get this out of the way. Are we going on, like, classic standards, like
I think
what it's worth over time, or are we going by what it would be today?
I think factor in everything. Just everything.
I'd probably say, like, a C?
Yeah.
Okay. For its time, S. I mean, this was bringing games to people in their homes when that wasn't a thing before.
But it doesn't hold up.
But now, it's pretty shitty.
Because, like, the Nintendo wasn't long after that, and the Nintendo still kind of holds up. So.
Any other Ataris, F for fail.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played any of them, but I've watched enough Angry Video Game Nerd to know that they're not good.
They're just shit. They're shit. I should have just made this F for shit. The Lynx, I want to say, is slightly cooler. I want to give that it kind of failed.
Have you played it?
I did, though, when I was a little kid. Somebody had one, and I played it, and I thought it was really cool because it was in color.
Yeah.
And the only other handheld at the time that I played was a Game Boy, and it was not in color. But I don't think there were any great games for it.
All right.
But I'm going to give it a D just because I think it's not a complete fail.
All right. The Jaguar into the F.
Jaguar goes into the F.
The Billy... What?
Astrocade? You know what?
F for fail. Fucking stupid name. Get the fuck out of here. I haven't played it, but into the F.
Coleco Telstar Arcade. I'm going to put that in haven't played.
Yeah, it could be cool, but probably not. Oh, ColecoVision.
ColecoVision. Now, I haven't played an actual ColecoVision.
I have.
You have?
I have.
Is it like on par with the Atari 2600? Or is it a little below? Because there are games I had for Atari that were like branded as Coleco.
Yeah, it's either C or D.
I'm gonna put it above the Lynx.
All right, that's fair.
What we got here?
Oh, Emerson. Yeah, Emerson, nice titties. Into the F or fail because that's.
I'm gonna put haven't played.
All right, fine.
Because I don't know what that is. What's this?
What? Hold on. Gotta get closer. Be right back. It's called the N-Tex Select a Game.
That's gonna go in haven't played.
Yeah.
Adventure Vision.
Haven't played.
Haven't played. I mean, a lot of these, I guess,
folks. What the fuck is this? Epcot? And I haven't played.
Haven't played. Fairchild.
Oh, yes. Elizabeth Fairchild.
I never played a Fairchild.
I didn't know she had her own gaming system, even. I don't even know if
I think it's kind of a fail. I'm going to put it in the fail.
Oh, really? I know nothing about it.
Yeah, it was like before or about the same time as the Atari, but it was more like a keyboard-based thing, I think, or a keyboard attached to it.
Intellivision,
I think is a D.
Well, yeah, I think Coleco was better, so...
Yeah? We put that, like, here?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the Odyssey. So, have you seen the Angry Video Game Nerd?
I don't believe I have. Oh, and that's we were just looking at a picture of this and we didn't know what it was. That's what it is.
And now that I see it, yeah, it's like one of the very first video game systems.
Yeah, it was before the Fairchild.
There were like overlays and shit, and it's kind of interesting. It was kind of cool what they were trying to do, but
it's also got a second one next to it.
Oh, well, there's a 2. Well, I don't know. Probably still like D, like
D,
because they don't.
I mean, I haven't played either of these, but
it's got to hold up a little bit. But it was still like cool for what they were doing at the time.
Microvision.
I feel
like that's a haven't played. N-Gage is I haven't played, but it's going to be a fail because it's like one of the biggest fails of all time.
I don't even know about it, but okay.
Oh, you should look up the saga of the N-Gage.
All right,
it's pretty bad.
The Neo Geo.
The Neo Geo.
We've been doing
yeah. You know what? That's going to get a B.
Yeah, because
it was commercially it did not do well, but you have to consider that it was an arcade console first and a home console after. With the same games, but they were really expensive.
Wow, that's kind of crazy that the Neo Geo is currently sitting at the top of our list here. But
well, we are going alphabetical.
Change.
So.
Things will change.
Yes, because then you have the Neo Geo Pocket, which is probably going to be a
Are we going alphabetical, or are we going fucking like...
Oh, that's a good question. It was alphabetical. Oh, maybe it's like... Because this is like, they put like Nintendo... as N, all the Nintendos, but they put Neo Geo. But then, if they went by manufacturer, this would be S and K.
There were Neo Geo Pocket games.
They were, but they weren't good.
Are they even D's?
I think they're D.
Huh?
You know, I mean, I think
maybe we should.
I think they're like Game Boy. You think it should be haven't played?
Well, I haven't played them.
I haven't played them.
Okay.
I think that if we played them, it would be a D level. But
the Wii. Now we're starting to talk.
Now we're talking. Would you want to put the Wii as an S tier?
I don't know if I want to do that, but
You think A?
I think probably A.
Because it revolutionized gaming and revitalized Nintendo as a whole.
It did. Well,
but it had a lot of gimmicky games and shovelware.
It did, and gaming's kind of moved away from the gimmick of the Wii as well.
The motion controls.
Yeah. It was an amazingly smart move by Nintendo at the time because they couldn't compete with what Microsoft and Sony were doing. And it sold a lot of consoles. It was fun, but I mean, I don't think it's S.
The 3DS, I'm gonna give it an A.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's fair.
Now, the 3DS on its own, you could maybe argue is S because it's a great portable console. But the 3D there were games that utilized it well, and there were games where it was tacked on and gave you a headache.
Yeah.
And that actually would, for some people, that dropped that down to a D probably. For how bad the headaches were.
Well, it sucks to be them. But
yeah, they actually had when it first launched, they had a lot of people returning them.
Not really my problem, though.
Not my problem.
It sounds like a headache person problem. Not me, though.
I mean, even myself, when I was playing Ocarina, if I played it in 3D, I would get a headache after like 20 minutes or so.
We can just turn that off.
Yeah, so I would have to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean...
But, I mean, consider like the 2DS after without the 3D
it's like
feature.
saying...
Basically, like, the games are great. It just... Sometimes the 3D wasn't
That's
great.
like blaming booze for giving you a headache. It's like, well, I mean, I drank 7 of them. Well, I gave me a headache. Well, you could have drank 1 of them. Like, well, yeah, but I drank 7 of them. So,
Yeah. There you go.
The
Wii U. Very controversial. Most people would probably give it an F for fail. I'm going to give it... I want to argue between B or C. I want to see what your opinion.
Extra cooler?
I see.
Nice.
I see. The Wii U is a failed console because it had a dumb name and it wasn't promoted well, but it had a lot of great games, and most of its great games have been ported to the Switch, so now they're Switch games and people don't even give a shit about the Wii U anyway.
That's true.
Except for Xenoblade Chronicles X, for some reason they've been holding on to that gem. But the other thing is, if you mod your Wii U, it's an S-grade console. So you got that going for it. It's backwards compatible with the Wii, and it can play GameCube games if you mod it.
Yeah.
The Switch, maybe first S tier on here?
It's either S or the highest of A's, so whatever you think.
I think it's an S.
Okay.
I mean, sure, it's got some misfires. It's also going on 6 years now, and it's still like the highest selling, always sold out console.
Yeah. Has it caught up to, where is it on the list right now? It's probably not up to PS2
On the sales
yet.
list?
Yeah. But
It's probably pretty close.
is it like above like PS3 and stuff, you think?
And the PS2 sold for like 11 years before
Yeah.
they stopped making it. So
Yeah.
it's got like 4 or 5 years before they stopped producing it.
The Switch is pretty cool. Nintendo, again, after their misstep with the Wii U, they just...
What then? If they never
knocked
made
it
the
out.
Wii U, they probably would have never made the Switch.
Yeah.
Because the technology here helped develop this greatly.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
yeah.
The NES.
The NES now,
It's
this is
another
another
one.
one that's like,
There's
okay,
caveats.
for its time,
Yeah.
S tier.
Yeah.
Does it hold up now?
Some of the games do.
I mean,
And
we
also-
play some of them sometimes on our channel.
Yeah, and it saved the entire video game industry.
It did, and that's a big deal.
So it's either the top. I think it's an A.
Is
Probably.
it A?
Top, like the top A.
The top A.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's so many factors. Like
Right.
Game
Okay,
Boy.
Game Boy. Okay, Game Boy.
Game Boy's a weird
Okay,
one.
Game Boy.
Game Boy's a really weird
So
one.
Game Boy. It's a Game Boy.
It is.
Sure is.
And it sold a lot of systems.
It did. Was it a fun, entertaining console? Yes, absolutely. Was it technologically a good console? No, not really.
And most of the games were shit. Like there were some good games, but a lot. Oh, I mean, all right.
I mean, there
That's not fair.
are some very solid classic games that
There's
really
Pokemon.
pushed that system to the limits.
Pokemon. There's Tetris.
Oh yeah,
So
Pokemon started on the original Game Boy.
there's a
You forget
lot
that.
of really bad games on it.
It's just, I mean, it could only do so much.
I know.
It was slightly less capable than a NES.
Yeah. And it had great battery life.
It ran on multiple, like 4 AA's.
4 AA's. Yeah.
And the reason that it had good battery life is because it had that 4-color monochrome screen, which is why it's not a great console.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Like B? High B?
I give it a B.
Yeah.
The SNES. In my opinion, the SNES is a NES.
It's NES. Yeah.
This is
It's
one of the highest selling, greatest consoles.
How can you give anything else?
High value in where it started to where it ended. Had like a 6-year lifespan where you started with like Super Mario World and Link to the Past, and you ended with like Donkey Kong Country 3.
Yeah.
For the fact that console could put out
Yeah.
that level of graphics and compete with the PlayStation, amazing.
Yeah. Just the games alone. Like,
Yeah.
It just.
And they like so many of the games hold up today to the point that a lot of them are. I mean, you got the Switch Online, replaying
Yeah.
Super Nintendo games. You got remakes up the asshole.
I mean, if we were doing truly ranked, like you could put the Super Nintendo above the Switch, even maybe like. It's. Oh well, but then
you have the biggest Nintendo misfire of all.
The F for fuck you to all our fans.
So here's the question: does this mean the most failed?
Oh no!
At the top,
it's gotta be the
it's
bottom.
gotta be at the bottom.
Yeah,
Okay. You know what? The N-Gage is still worse.
Oh wow, that's
It's still worse.
harsh.
It is. And you know, this is I did actually like play demo Virtual Boy at like a store or something, so I can't put it in I haven't played. I didn't play it long enough to get a headache, but I'm sure that I would have if I played it 5 minutes more. The N64
Oof.
is a real question. Here's a real question.
So,
Is it mostly nostalgia?
well, there is some of that. It's just,
Is it? I mean, let's talk about its benefits for a sec. It had instant 4-player access. You didn't need a multi-tap or anything. That's the first console that ever let you play 4 players without that. It was built to be like a party system. The controller sucked.
That's subjective.
It was a bit innovative in having an analog stick.
I like the controller,
but it had a very awkward holding position.
I didn't mind
It's
it.
not the worst controller out there. It's certainly serviceable. It had its uses.
My only problem with the N64 controller is that the analog stick broke down over time.
Yes.
You could use it for like 3 years, 4 years.
We want to talk about how shitty the Joy-Cons are. My personal Switch, I've had to send the same Joy-Con in twice to get repaired.
Well, at least
in just a couple of years.
At least when your N64 controller broke, you could buy a new one for $30. So
right, it wasn't $70 or $80, right? Like new Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
But yeah, the N64 analog definitely broke to the point where your character would be moving on its own.
Yeah, so the controllers had issues.
Origin of joystick drift, I guess.
Instant load times.
Instant load times because they were cartridges. Couldn't fit shit on the game because they were cartridges.
That's true, but a very good first party.
Yeah, very good first party catalog because there was no third party support.
They were. They had
far and few between.
GoldenEye.
Rare was basically a Nintendo first party.
No, but
so they weren't third party. Most of the games for the N64 were from Rare.
All right. So all right.
And in addition to the strong first party library, over time, yes, but in between releases, there was like nothing coming out.
All right. So
now, I do say the N64 had some excellent games that I love to this day. We're still playing things like Ocarina and Mario 64
Mario Kart Racing.
Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Donkey Kong 64. But
some people actually love that game.
Yeah, there are some people. Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Huge fan favorite.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's something maybe we'll play in the future. It seems like it'd be right up our alley.
So what do you think? Like an A?
I don't know. I'm thinking a B.
No, I will not. I'm not okay with
I'm going to give it at the top of the B's.
No, it's an A.
Then it's the bottom of the A's.
I will fight for my A on that.
All right. Fight for your A. I think it's mostly rose-colored glasses.
I don't think so.
But it's a tough one.
All right. I'll give you one of yours that you want to bump up.
All right. Game Boy Color. I'm instantly putting above Game Boy.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah.
Same library plus more. You get to play even like backwards compatibility with Game Boy games like Pokemon. Put them in color, or like an actual palette assigned to them.
Yeah.
It was the same thing but better, basically. I wouldn't say any major improvements other than the color.
Yeah. Yeah. I never played the Game Boy Advance. Really.
Game Boy Advance, I'm gonna give an A.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to fight me for it. I'm going to behind the N64.
I was waiting for you to put it above it. I wanted to fight.
Sure.
Don't do it.
I'm sure. Actually, a lot of people would probably put it above the 3DS. Personally, I didn't have that attachment with it. I didn't play a lot
above the 3DS.
I didn't own an Advance myself, and I didn't play it as much.
Did the Game Boy Advance sell almost as many consoles as the fucking PlayStation 2? I don't think so.
No, the 3DS didn't sell as much as that either. It was the DS, which we'll get to.
Wait, what?
But
really?
The DS sold way more than the 3DS.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, but the Game Boy Advance, it was a good console. I didn't own one. It had a very excellent library of games. Is the real key here.
All right.
And it was a step up from here. And a lot of them got remade or remastered or whatever, so you could play them on future consoles.
Well, why don't we, because we're about the halfway point here, why don't we finish the rest of this on a part 2 of...
let's finish off Nintendo here.
Oh, but we're going to fight about this. This is going to be problems.
Well, that's okay. It's okay. We got a couple minutes. We'll finish off these two.
All right.
I don't think there's going to be a big fight here. All right. GameCube. What's your GameCube rating? Let's hear it.
I think it's an A.
I think this is less of a fight than you think.
But
So
well, if we're just going to put them in a tier, I think A.
What I would say is I would put it here.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say.
If you're looking at the things around it,
Yeah.
I would say it was better and kind of a companion to the Advance. Fuck, they even put the same color scheme on it. Look at that shit. Underrated console. Has a lot of great games for it.
And to be honest, there was a lot of things better about it than the N64, but I don't know.
I think...
I didn't like it as much as the N64.
I think
though, at the time.
Most people don't like it as much. And again, this could be a nostalgia factor. Because, I mean, if you're going on controllers, the GameCube controller is way better than the N64 controller.
Yeah.
The library is a little larger.
Pikmin was good.
It's not huge.
Luigi's Mansion.
GameCube had its problems because they wanted...
Mario Kart Double Dash.
For whatever reason, Nintendo had it wrapped around their brain that they couldn't do CDs.
Well, it's anti-piracy. Anti-piracy was what
anti-piracy. Wait, I pirated my PlayStation games.
They took a while to realize that piracy is going to happen no matter what you do, and it was hard thing for their company to wrap their.
But
mind around.
I mean, so like this was an improvement because they're like, okay, we'll do discs, but then they're like, we're gonna make them half the size. It's like you didn't learn your lesson. What this has been. When did the GameCube come out? 99? 99? 2000?
Something like that, yeah.
And the PlayStation came out in 94? So you're saying 6 years after the PlayStation come out, you're going to put out discs that hold half the data of a PlayStation disc? That's just stupid.
I think they were banking on their name and first-party titles.
I know, but they already had a... They had a marginal win here.
Yeah.
So they ended up with a loss here. But again, underrated because the game library and the controls are great. You have Smash, which is a huge plus for a lot of people. You have Double Dash. You have Fire Emblem. Amazing, one of the best Fire Emblem games ever.
Pikmin,
you have Pikmin. Yes, Pikmin's great.
I thought it was fun.
So, yeah, okay. And then we have
Metroid. That was good.
Oh yes, and Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that was
another great series. Then we have the DS, and that'll close out this video.
So, I mean, just below the 3DS, I guess.
I'm actually going to put the DS as S tier.
What? Really? But the 3DS is better though.
The 3DS built on the success of the DS, but I wouldn't say it's overall a better console.
Really?
It's the same scheme except
the
one add 3D to it. It's got higher processor, RAM, and everything.
Yeah.
It can run better games, but it's also backwards compatible with the DS, which gave it a huge library. The DS is one of the most successful consoles of all time.
All right. I mean, you let me put Nintendo 64 in A, so I'll let you do this one, I guess.
And that I will also preface this by saying I don't own a DS.
I don't either.
No
one does.
All the DS games that I played on the 3DS. But I have a large DS library.
It's fake news.
That I played on the 3DS.
But
what?
It's fake news. No one actually bought a DS. It's just Nintendo just made it look like everyone did.
The dual screen thing, and that was one of the downfalls of the Wii U, is they were like, the DS is really great. Let's make a console based on the DS. So you have a gamepad being the bottom screen. Didn't work as a console.
All right, next time we're going to lead off with this.
Next time is the...
Philips CDI, which is the best game.
Oh, that's going to be a hot one. Yeah.
Best console all time, so...
Cliffhanger. Major cliffhanger, guys. Where are we going to put that? See you next